Wrong thing. Here we go.
Yeah, my game is currently booting up. And it's also saying not responding. What is fun? Shadow. Shadow, stop. Oh my god. Stop trying to mess with my Ethernet hub's cord.
Bad kitty.
Oh my god. Shadow! You have food in your bowl. I know that's not what this is about. Why do you have to pick now of all times to be like this?
I don't know.
Come on. Yes, way. Thank you. What the? Oh, for fuck's sakes. This idiot. There we go. There's the logos. Don't know why it took so long for the game to boot up.
Did Nova tell me what? Canther's in chat. He's asking you if you told me something.
I told you something about what?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, he may want to explain what he's talking about.
Yeah. Care to explain there, Canther? What was I supposed to have been told? Also, nice outfit.
Yep, that is Dawn Trail Samurai. When we look at it.
From last night, about
14.
14.
Oh boy.
Oh, I don't even remember. Other than the fact that Turbo re-upped to the game, but I already mentioned
Oh, that,
it
yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, you did. You did bring that up. Ah, back in the summer. Oh, we'll be happy to have you.
Oh yeah, that's right. He said he's getting back in the game too.
Ah.
He mentioned that last night as well. Yes. To be fair, he then recovered from having to save money from that Hawaiian trip and all that. So.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Are we done being silly given I'm about to play an MMO? Are we?
Just give him the old you look face of a cat.
Silly cat.
Might be closer to July. Okay.
Yeah. Man, it is wild how we are less than a week away from the Switch 2.
Yeah. I have sent the invitation.
I am loading up the area.
Oh.
God. I might need to get upgrade my laptop soon at some point. Good lord. I've had this laptop for a good while now. Like, I restarted my laptop. Why is it taking so long to load?
I don't know. Hell of a way to start this, though.
No.
Saving up money for a new gaming PC chair and a mic. So using my headset.
Yeah, I gotta get myself a new mic after Cord got yanked out of there for my headset there. And it's all messed up.
Pro tip: don't just go for like the quote-unquote gaming chairs. Just get yourself a regular ass chair.
Yeah, the actual gaming chairs kind of suck.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody who has a gaming chair currently, I can attest to that.
As someone who used to have one, I can attest to that. That bitch broke.
Yeah, most quote-unquote gaming chairs are designed more for the aesthetic than the structure.
Yep.
All right.
Endwalker, Part 2.
Yeah.
No lady quest, tipping the scales. Here you are.
Robin here.
Here you are. A stack of the purest giant skull. Always set some aside for our alchemist friends. When you deliver it, let the good folk of the great work know that we're grateful for their efforts. If they need more, they need but to ask. And back we go. A chair that will work for 8+ hours of sitting. So, like we said, get a regular ass chair.
Yep. Shadow, no.
Welcome back, Hatters. I hope you have the giant skull. They have been sacked filled to the brim with chunks of the purest giant skull. There you go. Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you so much for bringing these. We have everything we need to make our next prototype, and this should be capable of passing our most rigorous tests. When it's ready, it'll be time for the true test, so please take your ease while you can. And ha. Boop. Boop.
Seriously, what is going on? I restarted my laptop to
I see our
prevent this from
taskmasters have allowed
happening.
you a moment's respite as well.
Shadow, oh my god!
You have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
Not today's a complicated things, apparently.
Yep.
They had better be, or all this effort was for naught.
Alright.
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Thavner, children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration. The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning.
I don't know why Shadow gets so
And it's
picky about the
worth.
dry food sometimes.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think. Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea. And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts? There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
The more you see and suffer life's injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up.
The dark thoughts.
The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that.
Uh-oh.
What is it? What did you see? Fandaniel, are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
It holds. The vessel holds! This is the one!
At long last! Look! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments! We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
I thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field. It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot. Should the scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Nidana, are you certain you wish to do this?
If others are to trust our creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Fandaniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on your guard.
Shall we be on our way? I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
This rain feels fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the hatchery. What on earth could Van Daniel be plotting? There we go.
The audio normal for now, at least.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, that's what it is.
I am almost there.
I see you.
Alright.
Hello, Nadana. This is a rather fine boat than I had expected. A rather finer boat than I had expected, but I won't complain. All that remains is to board and be on our way. Oh, and if I should become corrupted, do not stay your hand. Of course, I pray it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessing are one of a kind. Perhaps our only hope for toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Now, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let's be off. To the Tower of Zot? Yes.
We should
The
soon
good news
cross the
is if she
threshold
does
of the
become
tower's
corrupted,
influence.
but we actually do now have a way to hear that.
Yeah.
Any moment now. It's working! And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could.
Let's get closer.
So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance. few more steps.
Well, we made it.
Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be. Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up its secrets. What?
Uh-oh.
Ah!
Please.
Oh, there we go! Oh, there we go! Oh!
You picked the
Oh,
weirdest time
do
slot last
calm
model.
down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid. The similarities are striking. My! Such hostility! Never before has my artistry so displeased. My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting. Allow me to tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Van Daniel, the sundered Ascian. I inherited the position and the soul of the Van Daniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Van Daniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am. How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority you've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes? Then I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
At your service. Imagine
Wait,
a nation.
Okay, I hear Amon. My brain thinks Yakuza.
Every need
No.
met.
So
Day
Yeah, I
after
know that's
day
not it, but
of
my brain's
unbroken,
trying to go back through
unshakable
previous
peace.
lore.
He was one of the bosses in
Existence.
Circus Tower.
Fulfill
One of the Crystal Tower raids.
Oh.
and ripe.
Bottom line, he was a big shot researcher for the Alligans.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. However do you conceive of such
Raha's gonna love
delightful
hearing about this.
That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing. Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe. No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence. For they were ever hungry for stimulation. Slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot. Our nation was ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor. And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest. An inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Amon. No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death. In the end, all is lost.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war, and so I have come to claim you. For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Fandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation. Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself. See what lies ahead. The fall of the Empire affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
And he's gone.
So easily distracted. Why, I almost left without saying farewell. As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals. If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, Enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades? We shall meet again! Not in these minor spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see.
Well, that definitely could have gone better.
Yeah. You're now down one elephant, lady. Ah, you are returned. But where's Mistress Nidana? It's like so about that. Amnesia Preserve. We had succeeded in making the talisman. I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the great work. Let us return to the great work. My internet is dingusing a little bit.
Oh, that's fun. It looks like whatever was going on with my loading times earlier seems to have cleared itself up.
That's good, at least. Back to normal. Alright, Thancred. Something's gone awry, hasn't it? What happened? So it was Fan Daniel after all. Damn that bastard. I'm sure you want to do more, but you are right to return here first. You must tread warily lest we endanger Nidana and the other captives. The satrap of Rajathan. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nidana's colleagues included. I'll call them together for a gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. Oh, right. I forgot I was supposed to be reading these now. Though Nidana is trapped in... Though Nidana is trapped in the tower, she's still alive, yes? Daughters. Then we must make warding scales, as many as we can. The prototype works perfectly. This Nidana proved at peril to herself. So let us make more scales, that she and all those who were taken might be saved. Aye, as alchemists, this is how we will help win the fight. Hello, Varsan. My friends, the satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you this link pearl that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you. And for our Eorzean visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nidana noted your vital contribution to the talisman's creations. This fact came to the satrap's attention. In recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet you. In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. And so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Rajathan for an audience with His Excellency? We should be honored, of course, thus the cooperation between our lands can only be to the benefit of all. Then it is settled. Please, come to gates east of the Giant Skull grounds, and I will show you into the city. Well, we finally get to see Rods at Han, at least. One journey later.
Yep. Man, they really won't let me jump down this specific cliff, huh?
Yep, that's for later. Spider-Bot, go. Up this way.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you ain't getting down there right now.
Yeah, I was just trying to like do the direct pathing, thinking it would just be as simple as like jump down a cliff or two or something.
Nope. They thought of that. I think they learned after Stormblood. That's a spider, isn't it? I think Omega's meant to be more beetle-shaped. Of course, we can see that motherfucker from here.
Alright.
There you are. All present? Then let us proceed. Owing to the threat of the tower, the city is currently in a state of high alert. Restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times.
A vast rock squats upon Thavnair, and to its stony surface clings the city of Rods at Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye. The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things. Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun. The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets. But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Here we are. Megaduta.
Aduda.
It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside. Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Ah, splendid. Most splendid. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan, satrap of Radzatan. Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
Donna, she was taken.
A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the Talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nidana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
I think not. This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
As you wish.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Ah, the classic fake leader ploy.
Yep.
I am Vritra, and for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Aye, mine elder brothers, of Midgard Solma's spawn.
It's a Durgan.
Yep.
I was last to hatch.
Well, isn't this a surprise?
Yeah, it makes sense that Stydian would
We
be
were
the one
told
to notice.
Radzat had an alliance with a dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the Satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge. as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive were the Aura. Adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility. When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radz Athan.
But if Vitra is still here, then your position as Satrap is just...
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the great worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who join me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye. It was taken.
'Tis here, buried within the semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Razatan. With mine eye nestled
Varshan has a dragon eye in him.
doth
Oh boy.
serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my
Basically a puppet.
That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered, Estinian warm blood. From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another, yet did neither one of us bare his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now.
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Radz Athan. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a sure path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Pagalthan and Kartanau, I am told.
Yeah.
'Tis upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear. Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the 4 of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go. Steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
It seems a quick trip back to Charlian is in order.
And Simeon is already walking away. Oh boy.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Rads at Han, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
Yeah, Simeon's always been more of a man of action when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Making her like, alright, well, are we going or not? Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get to stay in there just yet.
Yeah, we do still have the other paths that go through as well, so...
Yeah. That meeting took a rather unexpected turn, but we now have a clear objective ahead of us. Let us rejoin our comrades in Charlian and muster a suitable crew for a foray into the Tower of Zot. Oh, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the Aetheryte here before departing. Unless, of course, you enjoy violent nausea. And back we go. Boop. Good to be back.
Yep. I definitely already attuned to that because I remember doing that pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
But going back to that scene from last time, God, you know, I can already tell Simeon is just going to be a headache and a half for Tataru.
Want the Baldessian annex.
Loading. There we go. Alright.
And off he goes. After we turn this in, I am going to take a quick bathroom break.
Alright. Alright.
Just as I was getting used to balmy Fav now, we're back in chilly Charlian. Take care not to catch your death, eh? We need you for the battles to come. Now then, your investigation here remains, but when that's over, we can take stock of all the developments and discoveries. Alright. Be right back.
Alright. Yeah. Gotta say, I was not expecting to see one of Needhog's brothers today.
I'm back.
Yeah, Red said he was going to be back in a quick sec, too.
Yeah, I'm back.
It sounds like he's back.
Yep, well, there we go.
I get in there. As usual, Cat decided to follow. Because Cat doing cat things. Alright. Hello, Kryl. Level 80 quest, hitting the books. An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the form's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the councillors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Sharlayan's archive of historical records for any hint of connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day, but now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let's reconvene outside Numenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Oh boy, time for the library. This is the first time we've had reason to go over there. Thanks, V.
Yeah, I've yet to tune to the studium, so I have to actually go the long way.
The long way.
John, I might as well quickly attune to that while I'm over here. Just gonna make things easier long term.
I have not had my caffeine. I have not had my caffeine today. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Numenon, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Numenon extend deep beneath the surface like the root of a tree. The vast halls of the great Google Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. Dispatch Y'shtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alice and Alphino will help me to continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? Tell the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading!
Yay, being stuck with the literal surface level reading.
Let's just go around here. Story of Sharlayan. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rogadan man by the name of Nunkrep. Nunkrep was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Yunkref's crew hauled them aboard his ark, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Yunkref wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Abelathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Yunkref gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time became the city of Charlene we live in to this day. And that first shift wound up in the realm of Alamigo.
Ah.
In fact, you could actually go there. Roads of Old, the colony. Let's see. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thaliak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Charlian colony once thrived. Known today as Edelshear. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the Sixth Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their services and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlians. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlian colony. And then they fucked off. Eorzean residents took the colony itself Sharlian, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlian inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and give it yet another name, Edelshear. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Edelshear. This book does not appear to contain additional information to the Forum or cover the history of the Sharlian motherland in greater detail. Still neat, though.
Yep.
Yeah, there's all sorts of neat lore stuff. Voice of a growing city. Let's see. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlian, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the Sixth Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlian would transition into a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the Forum as we know it today conceived and created. Yeah. And specifically 99 so that there wouldn't be any ties.
Yep, makes sense. Oh my god, cat, please. He's been cuddling on my lap and he decided to start doing the paws on the shirt thing.
That's unfortunate. Introduction to the Heavens. Have you ever gazed at the sky?
Baby. He's no longer on the lap.
Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are a few indeed who can explain, in satisfactory detail, why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Alag who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, that their positions continued to shift almost imperceptibly but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? This book is on the wrong subject. It does...
I think that's kind of how actual astrology works.
Yep. It does kind of give you a sense of their understanding of space, though. That they have almost none. Forever 20 summers. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I too once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra: I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You can be 19 or 23 or 40, whatever your age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, ethereological, and arcane viewpoint. This is the wrong book.
Hi. You love getting your claws stuck in shit. Good lord.
During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Neonkrev, founder of Charlian, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Charlians took to heart the words of their savior, and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin. And the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Charlian would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. You have gained a fundamental understanding of Charlian history and the foundation of the Forum. I think there's one more.
I'm not seeing any other sparkles. Oh my god, Shadow! Fucking hell!
Let's see. Oh, that's cool.
Oh my, Shadow, please, chill out. Oh my god. I'm going to stand up to try to get you to walk away from the laptop area. Come on. There. There we go. Yep, there we go. My god. My cat is adorable, but he is also annoying sometimes. That's just the way it is with pets.
That is how cat be. Is this voiced? No, it is not. Cool. Sorry, were you waiting long? I wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphano and Trials should also be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final day specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare, and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate, plenty of comfortable places to read, and a ready supply of hot tea. No, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. Seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Charlian, we were not to be allowed across the threshold. harsh measure indeed. Hope that our efforts to understand his position, and that of the Forum, will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family? Or do they not live here in the city? Well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Shali, and yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilsabad, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Korvos, coastal region opposite the island of Thavner. The Elegans founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Makote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbra Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign. When the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Korvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain that they might prevent the remnants of Allegan technology from being misused. Isn't Korvos under Gallian rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locus Amonis. Now, as a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. A familiar name. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allegan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices have been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allegan no longer pass to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As the last child born with the Allegan I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Shalian citizen. Never even considered. Forgive me, an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louiswell, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Shalians than you might think. Yet, regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity. That's what I'm thinking. With sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. Which is exactly why I have such a love for this country, why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Here. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness. Aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Hatters. More company should be arriving any moment now. The origin of our Catman.
Perspicacity, the quality of having a ready insight into things, shrewdness.
Just that moment of, wait a minute. Alright. And now we wait. A gag. Boop. We've returned without selections, though I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mrs. Kryl has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarat firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. Be our guest. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? The last one. The worst kind of phenomena you can imagine. Complete destabilization of creation magics. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If the odds of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Still, this surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the ancients. The Assyrians. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Say it began with a keening sound from the land itself.
The third one, good lord.
It's like, Alphino, you got this one. Ah, yes, the Amratines spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear the sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seemed that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually it resounded all across the star, and not even Amaral was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say? Instead of the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive. Probably loud. I'll have to speak with one of Numenon's mammoths and ask after any books which make mention of such sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? Hydaelyn and Zodiark. They knocked Talisman from the sky. It's like that, jumping ahead a bit. Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart, the many gave themselves in sacrifice to him to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiark brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiark, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primals. Or might have, had Vana and her followers not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash. But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let's return our attention to the forum, shall we? You should keep an eye out for Y'shtola, but it's time we began studying these research papers. And one more time.
Yep. One thing I'm not thinking of, like, Y'shtola mostly sees through ether now, right?
Yep.
So, like, does that affect how she's able to read things at all?
That's a good question. I do imagine it would be easier with, like, maybe spell books like the kind Arcanists use, because a lot of their magic, the ether gets channeled through the ink on the pages, so she could probably read that a lot easier. But who's to say?
Makes sense.
But who's to say that more common books don't have at least traces of that stuff to make it easier for her to read? I don't know. We don't really address it that much. I'm the last, am I? My extended search of the Archon stacks produced one or two possibly useful books, but I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned the source's reflections from the Garen oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Google Library. It is even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. Stands to reason, then, that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master
I was
Fortune...
trying to remember. What does the word Apocrypha exactly mean again?
I'm not entirely sure. I think it's meant to be more like an ancient, like, religious text.
Hmm.
See, upon. Let's see. Biblical or related writings not forming part of the accepted canon of Scripture.
Ah, so basically blasphemy.
Pretty much. Yet when you confronted Master Fortuna with the knowledge of the Telophori and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Form would know if the final days were truly upon us. He literally said as much, yes. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Form's behavior is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. There's a conspiracy. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. If they contain mention of the final days I know, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Qual's just laughing at us. Several hours later.
Yeah, knowing me with these kinds of texts, it'd probably be like I'd read a few pages probably, and then my brain would just conk out.
Labor for what feels like an age as you're still his research assistant. Alright, 1 second. Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? You able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Then the day was well spent. If you wish to read them again, Mamet at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. You might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Let's see. A seat at the last stand. Ready for a tea break, Harris? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down there in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside table, and I'll treat you to that coffee. It's quite good. Coffee. Yep. That is the coast. Is that from the harbor? Whatever. Oh, I love this music so much.
It is a really good track.
Which one?
The one playing right now in Charlian.
Oh, yeah.
It is middle of
I
night.
think it's the night. Yep. Yeah.
As busy as ever, I see. Very Charlian that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telophori. Might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? I'll say he's now accompanying you. Blah, 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 blah. Get some information. Hello. What? What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telophori. These enemies of peace that have promised an end to all we hold dear, and... Wait, you're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims. Here you are, giving truth to the rumor. Well, thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. It was foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Harris.
Damn.
Dick bag. You missed the dungeon. No, the dungeon hasn't happened yet.
No.
We just started on the other split.
Yeah, chances are we're probably not going to reach it this session at this point.
Unfortunately. Next time, though.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Talisman and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Leveilleur. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortunato that I was helping you. I see. Sorry to have bothered you.
Damn.
Yeah, they no exaggerated to say they've got that locked down tight.
Pretty much. Hello, Dickon. And hello, cutscene. Boop. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mr. Salisay I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of The Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studio. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? It's like, unfortunately, that part's true. It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Leveilleur. No matter how discreet Master Fortunato may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Charlian has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak to me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlian, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Ooh, I wonder if I have that as craft or glamour. That's the spirit. Pay attention now and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelet is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them you should see a Makote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobsters. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck! Food. Right. Let me just check my glamours real quick. Do I have that set? No, I don't. It's all combat. Cool.
Alright. So, table by water, so I assume this is the tea.
Yep, this one's the tea set. Hello. Oh, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. The Talisman who? Sorry, I've never heard of them, or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you want to hear about the ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, common or esoteric, I'd be happy to talk to your ear off.
Personally, more on the historian side of things. Fair enough.
Personally speaking, I would love to sit and talk about that.
Alright. Gisla wanted the omelet.
There we go. Ah, finally, 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in, no time to waste.
That's not quite a rhyme, but okay.
Like, anyway. What? The Talisman? Ah, yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. I know these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood. But stops becoming necessary. Best stay out of it, I say. Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. And this is the guy who wanted the lobster.
Urbane banter with a smile. Fucking Christ.
At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. No idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. The final days was the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. Must be busy time to be a gleaner. Like, oh, what now? Kind of tea we having? Arnie Palmer. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Charlian. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for those folks who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which is missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is the most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Telophori make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before. Not like this.
Well, that's something.
Yep. Sweet Bluesky. Nah, just... No alcohol, just lemonade. Any trouble with the customers? You able to get anyone talking? Kinda.
And for the Charlian drinks there, you find somebody sort of Jack Daniels there.
To be honest, I imagine alcohol around here is actually not that common.
Probably.
These are people of learning. They would most likely want to be keeping their wits about them the whole time. Energy drinks, on the other hand.
Then again, you never know. You could get a type like Gerald who is all the drinking all the time, even being in the book reading category.
Perhaps. I imagine there are energy drinks aplenty, however, in the forms of various teas. They seem unaware of the final days, except from whatever vague news the Gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. The Forum does have secret knowledge, and they've done an impressive job ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Yes, a cup of coffee, I promise. But let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? Leave behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. Ah, yes, I remember the scene now. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. Tea.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Voice acting.
It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in,
Oh, quick
that I
note,
began to feel the weight
one thing that's
of what
really
it
nice
meant.
with the nighttime Charlian theme, it reminds me a bit of like the the
remember when the decision
nighttime
was made to
city
come to
themes in
Charlian?
Unleashed.
Graham said that the Forum was determined to
yeah.
keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been, How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently. They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Yep, there's all that stuff that guy was talking about.
A vast complex beneath the island.
Like, yeah, that's a
Charlian
lot of
is
stuff.
famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Now we have our next destination.
Alright. And judging by the name, I'm assuming that's going to be the dungeon once we get there.
Nope.
Oh, alright.
Not yet. A labyrinthine descent. You should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Numenon and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Anything but the boxes. Yeah, our first dungeon is actually the Tower of Zot.
Ah, okay.
Because that's a thing that still needs to be dealt with. Closer we can daytime. Should hopefully be daytime by the time we get down there. Hello. Boop. Oh, God damn it. Welcome back, Harris. Been for a walking stage ahead, have you? It's like, guys, we have a plan. Not exactly. Did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. One story later. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats. But, as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let's see what theory we can build from the facts. As Y'shtola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Harris and Alisay learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Charlians know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telophoroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it is stretched to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service of the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. Visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. And if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. Let's see. What should we expect down there? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's sit down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. You know, that does kind of make me wonder a little bit if, back on the first, he ever had to help out Morin with the library.
Probably a few times.
Yeah, probably. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. I'll either say and try not to fall behind. Not a problem. Starts off slow.
The classic year walk speed is separate from the NPC's walk speed. Oh god.
Yep. Wait for it. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea. Other than maybe to fuck with the player. Now we run. Try to keep up. Path straight ahead. Oh yeah, I should probably inform you now. This game does have some stealth sections with this mechanic.
Oh boy.
Thankfully, they're generally not too difficult, but they can come across a little bullshit at times.
I mean, I recently beat Astral Chain, and that game had some stealth sections.
That game has stealth sections?
Yes. They only show up in like 1 or 2 chapters.
Ah, gotcha. Alright. Now, we go that way. Be sure to attune if you haven't already.
Yeah. As soon as the game's scan vision thing does let you see the cones of vision.
Ah, that is helpful. And here we are.
Yeah, the fun thing is, the way they grade you on the stealth sections, you get more points if you stealth take down all the enemies.
Give them the old Batman treatment. Here we are, through the store and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shop back there, didn't you? It'll make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Talk to you real quick. We're all here now, yes? We're taking the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift and down we go.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky.
This entrance is probably more impressive in the daytime.
In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves. And this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing.
Yeah, this song. So, I remember you said last time that this song reminded you of, I forget the title, but that one song from Cassette Beasts. What was it called? It's like Town Theme, I think?
Oh, wherever we are now.
Right, that one. What it reminded me of more is Home from Undertale.
Ah.
Yeah, you know the song that plays at Toriel's house?
Yeah. Cassette Beast was the
But
more
I
recent
assure you
game I
that we
had
are
played,
beneath
so...
Sharlian itself.
Fair enough.
The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you
I
hear,
actually haven't
all
touched
created
Undertale since
by
I
the
did my
hand
Let's
of
Play
man.
years ago.
I think the last time I played it was in Archipelago we did one time.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then. Ugh.
You okay, Cryle?
Did you call to me just now?
Like, no.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Just have a couple more minutes. All right. Once it hits daytime, I'll have a fun little story about the music of this place.
Oh boy.
There. Hello, Mr. Dobbin. Want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books, and ore, and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. You just did one a few summers ago, even. Then with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. Heh. Let me think. The Rhea seeds should be item 1058, cumin seeds 1059, snurmbleberry 1060, or were they 1061? Ah, my head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? Or someone mistakes the Kurthan carrots for the Garabanian carrots. What then? Alright. You here to help or give me more headaches? Because you don't have the look of a gleaner, and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exalted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Exhausted gleaners. Any luck, Harris? What tales do the gleaners have to tell? This, and this, and this. So this grand operation began without warning. For every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right. The Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. Bing, 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 bing. Glorified rat catcher. We would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, Harris, I have an idea. Leans down. Didn't one of the Gleaners' questions say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms up upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting! Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Oh, I thought the thing up there spun. I love the daytime theme here. Let's see. So, fun fact about this song. I believe when it was first... Was it a fan fest? I think it was a fan fest. When it was first showed off at a fan fest, like, they've since made changes to it because apparently at that fan fest, like, this, like, the crickets, I'm gonna call them, were hurting people's ears.
Ah.
Hello. You wish to help me find the marmots. I've nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I welcome the assistance. The name is Erenville, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Nakshan marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For a mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in the sack. Gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I'm not seeing any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search to the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot. Or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck.
Yeah, I gotta say, when told about this place, I wasn't expecting basically Blueberry Academy.
You're expecting something more maze-like because of the name?
Maze-like, or I'm not fully sure, but yeah, definitely not basically a wild area.
Huh. Yeah, it kind of is. Alright. Ah, here they are. And Cardia.
More.
Hello. Power of lasers. Barely have you readied the sack when the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbrush.
it's just like, oh, like underground type situation with a big old sky dome and everything. Yeah, no, it's Blueberry Academy.
It really is. The only thing it's lacking is the multiple biomes.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just this and a residential place. Squeak. Sturdy sack, supposedly large enough to hold one or more squirming mammoths. Get crap.
God damn it. Alright, use the item and you miss.
And you miss. Yeah, I'm sad we're probably not getting to the dungeon today. Been itching to show off my saging skills.
Hello, Ether Current.
Oh, is there one up there?
Yep, right behind these trolls.
Alright. Shouldn't be difficult for me then. What's my gear looking like right now? Ah, right. Stutter Dawn Trail stuff. Cool. Still might be replacing it before we're done here. Tough boys. Alright, where's the little bastard?
Marmot. There it is. It was also up here.
Oh, god damn it. Hello. Get in the sack. Squeak, squeak. That's the wrong button. There we go.
Yeah, Compass said the next one's like good 900 kilometers to the southeast, so not getting that one yet.
Oh yeah, so that's in the other area. Yeah, we're not getting that one for a while. Yeah, imagine it's gonna be like at least 10 more sessions, and that's being generous. Hello, Aaronville. How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. It's like, oh, you mean this one? Ah, there's the odd marmot out. Wait here a moment while I put our friend in a holding cage. Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. Good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You'll have my thanks. Who asked you to capture them in the first place? Why, the authority in charge of Labyrinthos, now and in perpetuity. Same officials who have had us working day and night of late. The honorable members of the Forum. Who else? Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those were the two conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. Suitable consumption and easy to breed. There you are, Harris. Is this the lady you mentioned? The one who's looking for lost marmots? Yeah. Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I am Kryle of the students of Baldessian. These others are my associates. Truth be told, the firm's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That is why we made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand the reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I am sorry that I can't offer you more for your services. Did you learn anything new from your friend there? So we've confirmed that the order from for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We also discovered when the operation was begun, the Forum contacted the Gleaners' guild ship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Talisman made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus am I inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned with so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Talisman's declaration was what set it all in motion. It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archeon? From there we can reach the lower... Kryle, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing will stop me from soldiering on. Be about it, then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I can remember the way to the Archeon. Follow the path east, through the forest, where you were chasing after that mouse. Or marmot, was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. What is up with Kryle? Meanwhile, you're already over there.
Yeah. Well, while I wait for you, I see Crystal.
Yeah, better go in tune. You know, once we turn this in, maybe we should call it quits for the day.
Yeah, I was kind of getting that vibe there.
You have the right idea, though. Let's attune first.
Yep.
Listen to this fancy-ass fucking tea party music in here. Is Red asleep?
I am hearing snores, so...
Wow. That's usually an Opie thing.
Yeah, I know.
Alright. Behold the Archeon. As Numenon serves as Sharlayan's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture too is similar. The building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archeon contains a physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Alright. So if anything was any indication, I think it was Red falling asleep that we should probably stop for the day.
Yep. Yeah.
There he is. Alright.
At least he actually woke up by the end of it.
Yep. Alright. So we've made it this far onto this path, which means next time we are definitely getting to the dungeon.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Goodbye, folks.